Right. So hello, everyone. Welcome to First Wednesdays. I'm Gretchen Heido, Master Coach, and Happy New Year. Here we are in the first Wednesday. Well, it's the second Wednesday due to the holiday, but of 2024. And tonight I'm really excited to talk to all of you because we're going to take a look at your vision for 2024 and ways to create impact. And then we're also going to take a look at what are the actions that you need to take to be able to make that vision come true. Much like our clients, if we don't set it, we won't get it. And so I want to help everyone get really intentional about what it is that you think that you're wanting. This replay is, or this video is going to be sent out as a replay. It's going to be shared on YouTube and in Facebook. So if you do not want your voice or your face recorded, please go ahead and just mute and turn off your camera, and you are free to just participate by listening. That's no problem. I'm very interactive when I get together and do these groups. So feel like you can talk. We're small tonight, and I would love it if you just would participate. It's going to help with all of your learning. I'd love to hear before we get started, what drew you to this particular topic for tonight? What are you hoping to get from it?
I'll start.
Thanks, Carrie.
So I'm just really excited about 2024. This is going into my 5th year of my coaching practice. And so I'm starting to realize that I can do whatever I want to do. And I've been thinking about what that might be. So this was the perfect topic to kick off the year.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, so this is my first year actually, so I'm like pretty excited about that. Yeah, so I just graduated out of a coaching program a couple of months back, and here I am. So I feel like there are a lot of options in front of me. So I think this topic really resonated because I was hoping to kind of just build some more clarity on how I want to move forward, and then yeah, hearing about others' experience, everything would just feed in, right? So pretty excited to hear that.
Fantastic. I'm so glad that you're here. And Brenda,
Thank you.
there you are.
Yes, only because I know that I actually fall off early as well. What drew me to this is Gretchen, as I stated in my email, what I was looking to do years down the road, I'm finally doing this year. I am officially relaunching BJG Solutions, which is a combination of my coaching and consulting. And so I know what my goals and my visions, and I'm making progress. Just left an event. That's why I'm like, I need 5 minutes. So I'm looking to see what I can glean from this short time that I'm here tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm also, again, looking forward to the Stairway to Six Accelerator workshop. Again, it's time for me to really just move. I'm 54. I'm not going to wait until I'm 65. It's time to do it now. So that's what I have.
That's it. That's it. Well, I love that. And to Julie and Jill, welcome. Happy New Year. So let's get started. When we're thinking about our vision and we're thinking about what we really want, the way I want you all to frame this up is like this. And this is something, and remember, everything I do with you, there's probably some kind of teaching in here that you can do with the client. But I want you to frame it up with the question, if I were talking to you at this time next year, January 10th, 2025, which is crazy that it'll be 2025. But if I were talking to you this time next year and you told me that 2024 was the best year you had ever had in business, what would I be hearing you saying? And so since we're a smaller group, I'm not going to put you in breakout rooms. You can drop it in the chat. You can unmute, think about it for a moment. But what are some of the things that you would be saying if it was like, you know what, Gretchen, this was my very best year? Who wants to go for it first?
I will.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't wait. I'm glad that I took part in, again, gleaning additional information about how to move forward and how to make it successful. But because when you have this open dialogue, it makes you actually think of things that you probably haven't thought about that you can apply to it. So to your vision. So again, I'm hoping to say, I'm so glad I did it this year, and thank you for the resources to help me do it.
Heck yeah. I'm really glad to hear that that's what you would be saying. Who else? What might you be saying if it's this time next year? The best year of business you've ever had. What am I hearing you say?
Yeah, I can go next.
Thanks.
So, yeah, for me, 2024 was the best year yet because it really helped me kind of establish my practice as a life coach, where I've been seeing clients in person, like 4 to 5 times a day. And on top of it, I have this almost like an outreach platform on YouTube and or podcast, wherein I'm trying to connect with people to kind of really build more awareness of life coaching and its benefits. So just feeling grateful that that year really allowed me to kind of explore both sides of these.
Yeah, so there's still a lot there. I love that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Who else? What do you want to share about this? It's your best year yet. What am I hearing you say?
I will go. I would say that, so I finally hit that 6-figure mark. I actually made over 100,000, no problem. I had a steady flow of clients from beginning to end. So January all the way to December. I worked with people that inspired me and challenged me and were exciting to be with. I loved working with my clients and the goals, helping them achieve the goals that they did. And that I was able to maintain balance in my life throughout all of that. Like, even though my business finally grew to where I want it to be, I still had, my me time and my time with my husband and all of that good stuff. There's a lot of balance there.
Oh, nice, nice. So who else? Anyone else want to share? What would you be saying if it were your best year yet?
I guess it's me
Thanks, Phil. It's great to see you.
too. I would love to double my client list. Just have great clients. I want to work with dynamic women that are and really motivated dynamic women, and just have a nice steady flow. I'm not trying to pack it in. I'm just trying to have some really good part-time work that will be good, consistent clients. So that's what I'd like.
That's great.
I'd like to double my income.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, and I know my friend Julie is here and she doesn't always like to share her face, but she's usually listening in the background. Julie, do you want to share?
I sure am here.
I know you are.
And I am like writing things down. I'm taking this
Great.
time very seriously. All right. So I had the best year in 2024. I rebranded, I created my clear messaging. I was able to get 20 speaking engagements. I finished my book and I had 15 clients on a regular basis, and I ran 3 group coaching programs. And I made the goal of making between $20,000 and $30,000 a month.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's very like specific. I realized I was writing
It's
very
supposed to be.
numbers,
Good. And it's supposed to be that specific. And did you feel the energy about how each of you felt as you were talking about what you'd be saying to me or to someone else when they said, hey, how was 2024? And you're like, it was my best year. And that's the energy that I want you to be standing on when you're thinking about this year, because we have the ability to create anything. Part of it has to do with our mindset and part of it has to do with our actions. And when we get both of those things into alignment, partnering together, that's where we can be in great creation. So that's what we're going to take a look at tonight. So I'd love it if everyone could take a moment and think about your financial goal. What is it that you're wanting in 2024 for your financial goal? And just raise your hand when you have a number. You don't have to say it out loud, but just so that I know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's think about this. You have this financial goal. Does the number feel doable? Just raise your hand. Feels doable. Okay. Brenda's like, maybe. If it feels doable, I want you to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Yep. I love the face there. Good, good, good. Just make it just a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger could be $1,000 more. It could be $5,000 more, but stretch just a little bit. Circle that first number. That's your, I can get this number. And then from there, let's just have a stretch goal because it's always good to see, you know, we have our safer number and we have our bigger number. All right, now the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to notice you all said your big goal or dream, the thing that you wanted, what would make 2024 so kick butt, you'd be really, really happy, everything from speaking events to podcasts to working with dream clients. You have this financial goal. Now think to yourself and write it down. What's the narrative that shows up right underneath it? What does your inner critic negative narrative say to you about the financial goal and about your dream? I love the faces. I love what's happening here. I love the way the energy shifted a little bit. Is anyone brave enough to share what that narrative might be saying? Yeah, go ahead, Brenda.
So just based on this exercise we just did, so my number, I based what I was looking to do based on getting 2 clients a month. So knowing what my base is for a 60-day package, not even a 90-day package. So when you said take it up a level, I thought to myself, okay, what if I got 2 clients at a 90-day package? I'm like, okay, it is possible. Again, I'm thinking of what I'm put my goal at, but yes, look beyond that goal. But what that might look like, and I know that I want to sound, I don't want to sound like I'm speaking in circles here, but I literally just left an event with the community filled of different women starting their own businesses and the community that's built in that. So again, knowing what I want, but being able to say, hey, looking to somebody who already does it and might even be able to willing to share. So I look to Gretchen a lot. I do. She was my instructor when I became a certified life coach. And so my narrative is knowing what I want, but not being afraid or hesitant to say, run it by someone who's been doing it. Because again, you want your business to be the best. So why not tap into someone who's been doing it and someone who will give you that honest, unbiased feedback. So my narrative is BJG Solutions is about to launch. BJG Solutions is going to go far, but I'm not going to be afraid to tap into this community around me to help me, something might not actually work. I could be doing something that's really archaic and I don't even know it now. So just relying on others. You don't have to be alone when you're starting your own business. That's the whole thing. People think I'm starting my own business and they hear own. But no, you don't have to be solo in that.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Brenda. Who else? Who else is willing to share? Just what does the mind say? What does the mind say about your big goal or your dream? Go ahead, Carrie.
Mine just said, you haven't been able to do that yet, ...
Yep,
Like,
there you go. Yep.
I'll follow up.
Yeah, thanks. Who else? Get really honest. What does your mind say? Jill.
So I need to put myself out there more. I need to be more assertive in terms of this process. And I don't enjoy that part of it. I've been kind of fortunate. I've had a lot of, just referral stuff, and I haven't really pushed myself. But I've been thinking in terms of doing a workshop. I haven't done it, so it's just, stepping up, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So good deal. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking, like people might enjoy talking to me and listening to me, but might not be ready to pay. Be
Mhm.
basic.
And that's it, right? We all have something. Julie, do you want to say what yours is saying?
Well, at first I thought there's no way I could do this alone. That was the first thing that came up. And then there's no way you can do this. That was what came up for me.
Yeah. So this is important when we're thinking about it, is that the narrative is always going to say something to keep you in place. Your soul and your highest self really knows that you can do something bigger. And then the narrative's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. That's not the way this is going to go. The whole deal. So what I want everyone to do, I'm going to do some spot coaching right now. And then you're going to get to play with this on your own. But what I want to do is just work with someone with your narrative to show you what we can do with it. And this is an exercise that you can do with your clients. So who's willing to be spot coach so that I can show this to you? It's really fun. It's going to help you.
I mean, I'm always willing to be spot coach, but
Okay, Julie, let's do it.
it's
So,
whoever you want to pick, though.
well, it's whoever raises their hands, and it was you. So let's do it. So you raised your voice, is what you raised. Tell me this. Tell me what your narrative was again.
Well, it's just the first was like, when I wrote it down, I felt good about it, like I could do it. And then I thought, there's no way I could do this.
There's no way I can do this. Yes. Okay. So when you're thinking, there's no way I can do this, what might you, and I'm not saying that you have to, but just for this exercise, what might you believe instead?
Well, I might believe that I can do it and that I have not only the ability to do it, but I also have the network to do it.
Mm-hmm. And if you believe that not only might you do it, but that you have the network to do it, what else could you believe?
I believe that if I do it and I believe that I can do it, that I can do it.
Mm-hmm. And if you believe that, what else could you believe?
I believe that that I can step into this space that I've always been wanting to step into.
Yeah. And so do you see how your mind went from you couldn't, all these different things to these different possibilities?
Yeah. I did start to, after I thought that I couldn't, then I was trying to think about how could I, because, I could creatively think about how to do this and make it work, right? But it's always the people having to say yes. But I'm getting better at this. I've really been getting better at that whole like
Yeah.
sales thing. So
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's go a step further. If you believed, and let's go with your very last belief, and here's why we do the very last belief. We want to go from your head, which is the initial narrative, like, nope, to your mouth, which is like still pretty negative, to your heart, right? Because we go 3 levels deep. So, Julie, what was your third narrative by the time we dropped way down?
to the negative or the positive?
To the positive.
Oh, I could step into my power.
I can step into my power. And everyone, what I did for you right now, I dropped in some worksheets for you to be able to follow or do after the fact, but this will be a good resource for you. So Julie, if it's, I could step into my power, what I want you to think about is if you stepped into your power, what action might you take towards that big dream that you have for 2024? Doesn't mean you will take it, but you could.
What action
Might you take?
That's a good question.
Yeah, let's just think about it because we want to take this from, oh yeah, I have these speaking gigs, I have this and that, to, no, this is really happening.
I think what I would need to do in order to make all of this happen, the thing that I need to do is to reach out to find the clients. And that's the thing that I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate the one-to-one meeting. I love doing like the big events and like talking to many people or like, you know, the podcast, but it's the one-to-one, like I'm bothering somebody with like my ask of them to
Okay.
spend time with me.
So then let's flip this on this. Let's go back a little bit. So you have this negative narrative that you hate the reach out. What might you believe instead?
I mean, that they need me, that I'm doing them a favor.
You're doing them a favor. Yep. And if
Yeah.
you believe that, what else could you believe?
Well, that if they talk to me, they could potentially have a life transformation.
They could have a life transformation. If you believe that, what else could you believe?
That because of working with me, they're going to discover their purpose and have a much more fulfilling life.
Okay. And if they were going to discover their purpose and have a much more fulfilling life, then what action would you take?
Then I would probably need to do the reach out.
You would do the reach out. And if you could do the reach out, what else could you do?
I could get them to work with me somehow.
Get them to work with you somehow. And if you could get them to work with you somehow, what else could you do?
Make a lot of money.
Okay, so did you see where we went? That we went from this part of you don't want to, reach out to clients, it's too hard, to you're going to help them with a life transformation, you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, right. That's really good. I'm going to help them. Life transformation for me is like the most amazing thing. When I see people have a life transformation, that's exciting for me. So, and it's also exciting to make money and do what you love to do. So
Mhm.
I'm writing all this down, by the way.
Good, good. And you can put it on your worksheet too for everyone. All you have to do is just download it. Were you all able to open the worksheet? Okay. And did it download for you? Perfect. All right. So as we're thinking about this, what I want all of you to do now is just to take a moment and capture that negative belief and just in your head, kind of quickly, ask yourself, what could I believe? And the reason I'm saying could sort of lightly is we don't want to freak out the subconscious. If we were like, what will I do? Your mind's like, I'm not going to do it, anything. I'm not, no. But if it's what could, what might, what may, I think, the mind will loosen up a little bit. You do it 3 times because the first answer is a little bit surface, then it goes deeper, and then it's like, oh, that's the real thing. So get to the gold with it. Go ahead and just do that for a minute, and you can look up at me when you're done. If anyone has questions while we're doing this, just let me know. Okay. Everyone have something there? At least a good start on it? Yeah, okay, good. Just briefly, again, you can put it into the chat, you can unmute. What did you get? What was the change in your perspective? We're a friendly bunch, just unmute and tell me. What was the change in your perspective?
My changes, it's just not that hard to do.
See, it's just not that hard. It's just
It
not.
really is not that hard to do. I just have this resistance, but it's
There you
just really not that hard.
And Jill, stand on that. It's just really not that hard.
It's really not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really not that hard. Okay, who else?
So I went from you haven't been able to do that yet, ... to three levels deep. I can make whatever amount of money I want to make.
Look at that. I can make whatever money I want to make. That's right. Brenda, I know you have to go. Sending you a
Nope.
big hug. Happy New Year. Do you want to just tell us really quick what changed?
Again, it's just literally what you had us do at the very beginning. Don't set that threshold, because I think when we look at money, we start counting the amount of clients we need to get that to that dollar amount. So instead of looking at the amount of clients, just literally set that dollar amount goal, then you work towards that.
There you go.
Because that's honestly what I did. I'm like, oh, if I get 2 clients this month, so just really, again, open my mind a little bit more to the income component of it.
Yes, the expansion. Good. And Brenda, I'll see you February 3rd.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Really,
Gretchen.
really looking forward
Happy
to
New
it.
Year, everyone.
You can watch the replay for the rest. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
How about, who hasn't shared? See here. Oh, okay. You want to unmute and share?
Sure. So I went from well, people won't be ready to pay for my services to yeah, focus on the quality of each session one at a time, and the rest will unfold.
Wow.
So yeah, because I guess I went through, people would want me to make a difference in their lives, and will value and pay, and then we'll be happy to spread the word. So yeah, that's hopefully gonna happen. So.
Well, and it will happen. So, but what I want everyone to do, and Julie, we already did yours. What I want everyone to do is just really pay attention to the gap between that narrative. We have these dreams, and everyone has dreams. Your clients have big dreams. Then right underneath, they say, no, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. People like me don't do that. That's too hard. I don't know how. Who's going to pay me? Whatever it might be, depending on what the big dream or goal is. And we want people to be thinking big because we're all here to do something really purposeful. That negative narrative shows up, and then we're in a wrestling match. This is usually the stopping point for ourselves and for others. But this exercise where it's like, what else could I believe? Good. Okay, if I believe that, what else, what else, what else? That gets the mind into empowerment. Then from there, when we do the actions, like, well, if I did believe that, let's just say I did believe this last thing that I wrote down, what might I do? And when we do the what might I do, again, and you do it 3 times, it's amazing what solutions your mind already knows that you can do to get your goal. So take a minute and go from your last the biggest empowering thought that you had, the third one, and then do if I believe that, what might I do? And let's just see, do it 3 times on your piece of paper on this worksheet, and what comes up for you.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that, Gretchen. So
Okay,
want to pick that.
So your last thought, repeat what your the most empowering thought was, the third one.
Right. Oh, it is. People will be happy to tell other people about my coaching.
People will be happy to tell other people about my coaching. So if people would be happy to tell other people about your coaching, what action might you take?
Oh, okay.
See what I mean? And then do it 3. Yeah.
Oh, so do the 3 times for the action too?
Yes, you and I can do it right now. So if people
Yeah.
would be happy to tell people about your coaching, what action would you take?
Well, I would focus more on the quality of each session rather than trying to market myself.
Okay, and so if you focus more on the quality of each session, what other action could you take?
I would guess I would try to kind of improve myself and my coaching practice and maybe invest more in that
And if
so
you
that
could,
I can become a better coach.
yeah, and if you could become a better coach, what other action would you take?
Mm, cast a wider net,
Cast
I
a
guess,
wide-
since since I'm more sure of myself.
And look at your smile. Did you feel different from the beginning answer to the end answer?
Yeah, I think so.
I can see it. And
Because
so,
it was funny, it was connected to the other goal that I had. So it was interesting how this just led to the other one.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. Oh, I love these light bulbs that are showing up for you. And so this is
Mhm.
something you can do with your clients, but now you have these 3 action steps that you can do for yourself with your coaching business. So for all of you, remember, now you have 3 steps. There's 3 things now that you can do that lead you back to that bigger goal, and make sure you circle your most empowering thought. Put it somewhere that you can see it, because that's the one that you're standing on to be able to do this next thing. Is this making sense for everybody?
Yes, thank you.
Good, good. Anyone have any questions, any feedback so far?
You said something about there's the gap between, and I didn't write it down.
gap.
Is it the reality and the dream? What is it? What was the?
Yeah, gap between the reality of it. No, I don't think that's what I said. I think I said the gap between the goal that we want, the big goal, dream that we want, and what the
Yeah.
narrative says. And then this is the way that we fill that gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always funny. I'm like, I don't know. We'll have to go back and watch the video to see what I said. All right. So the next thing that you want to do with your clients and with yourself, go down to part 2. This is on page 4, where it says power goals. So when we're thinking about power goals, and you now want to take these empowering thoughts and actions and make them into goals, if you were to have the 2024 that you were wanting and all of those things came true, I want you to think about the benefits that you would gain both professionally and financially. And I gave some examples here, but take 30 seconds and write some down for yourself, because this is the way that we make it real. When you're doing it with a client, and hopefully after the session, you will go back and write them all. It'll take you more than 30 seconds. But fill some of these out. How would life be different for you if that really happened? Professionally, what would change? Financially, what would change? And then as you're doing that, look at the second box, because I just want you to get a little flavor of this. Think about this part. If you were living in that financial space for that number that you wrote down, by doing the work, having that best year that you've ever had in your career, who are the different people that would benefit? Think of who you would pay. One of the years that I had a really good year, we got to paint the front of our house. So I got to pay that person. I got to pay a window person for installing new windows. We did some stuff in the yard. We paid that person. We got to go on this really great trip. So a lot of people at the hotel got paid some money. So really think about that too, because we often think that the impact is just for us, but it's for others as well. And this is going to help you to really see where your goals there for you, yes, and for the impact you're going to create, but here's all of the different ways, even the financial ways that our success helps others. So just write down a few here of like, hey, if this happened, who would you need to hire? What are some of the things you would do? All right, now I'm going to move you right along here for a minute. Go to the next box and think this through. If that happened for you and you were earning that money that you wanted to earn, how would that change things for your family and possibly your friends, loved ones? Would someone go to private school? Would like what would happen? What are the different things that with that money you could do for the people in your life that you really care about? Let's just unmute. Tell me some of the things that you wrote down in the different boxes.
I think for me, I love my clients, I really do, but I would love to have a little bit more dynamic group of women. And I think, the more upward, it's kind of an upward mobility that can happen, and that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm doing this part-time. It's not this driver financially for
Right.
me, so I
And
don't
for
know.
her husband, right.
Yeah.
But when you think about the professional esteem and the people that you would touch, I can really hear that for you, it would be there. Yeah,
Sure.
good. Thanks, Jill. One more person, just share this. How would this be? What are some of those benefits? Yeah, Carrie.
I really loved the people you would pay. Like I could feel myself starting to smile. So my husband in a way, because I would buy fun things for him, like concert tickets, and our housekeeper could come weekly, which she would
Oh my
love.
God.
We would get our gardener back. I would get a virtual assistant. I'd pay the Sprinter van dealership for finally getting our Sprinter van, and every mountain bike shuttle company in the country, because we would start driving and shuttling all these rides. So that started to feel so fun.
Look at how your face lit up for that too. And so that's the power of this particular exercise. We look at the big goal and everybody has one. And here's the other thing, that when you're asking people about that big goal or what they want for 2024, they have to feel it. If it's not something that makes them a little bit nervous, it's not big enough. It's not important enough. We're not looking for like, well, I want something, blah, blah, blah. It's something that they're like, wow, I almost feel nervous to even say that I want this, because that's the one that's attached to their heart. And that's going to have the biggest narrative that pops right up as well. And then we look at the narrative, and then we look at the possibility, and then we have an action. It's like, okay, it's becoming more real. And then when we put it into power goals and we take a look at, oh my goodness, this is the way my life would really change if I took those actions that I just wrote about and I stood in my most empowering thought. Wow. And then we look at who we'd pay. Oh my gosh, wow, all of these people would benefit. Then we look at our loved ones, that the impact of the goal becomes greater than what it once felt like. And so I'd love to get a little bit of feedback from you just from doing this part. Does the goal feel different to you now? Are you seeing something different with it?
From me?
Anybody,
Okay.
anybody. I just love, and sure, you can go first.
Yeah.
Does it feel any different?
For me, now the goal feels fun. Like I've tapped into that energy of it. So I'm like, I want to get started. I'm ready to go do this.
Yeah, good, good. Who else? How did it shift for you? If it shifted.
Yeah, I found it pretty hard to get the people to pay section filled out because maybe the way I'm thinking about the business right now, it's very me centric at this point, that it is hard for me to really kind of think beyond that, I guess. And especially how this whole exercise was kind of centered around financial motivation, which is not the motivation necessarily for me. So translating was a little more hard for me, yes.
Yeah. So, and that does happen for people sometimes. So if it's not financial, which is completely okay, you can do it in a different way of who would this impact? How will this impact me? How will this impact my loved ones? You can do it that way. For some people, it is the financial, and both are
Yeah.
good to take a look at.
Sure. Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So then this next part here that we really need to look at is then the next kind of frontier. And it's the who do you have to be to achieve this goal? What has to change in you? Who do you need to be? Might be I need to be brave. It might be I need to be a risk taker. It might be, I don't know. So just take a minute for you. Who would you have to be? Sometimes we have to be uncomfortable. And then you can scroll down and it says, what habits do you have to have? So for a lot of us, we want these things that we say, but we don't really have the habits in place to make it happen. It's like, well, I want that. Oh, well, what habit would I have to have in place? Oh, I'd have to have a schedule. Oh, I'd have to, be at my desk at a certain time. Oh, I'd have to make outreach calls. So what habits would have to happen, whether you decide to do them or not, for that great year to truly come to life? It's like, what's required of you? And then underneath that, there's the actions. And then when we keep going, what habits that you currently have do you need to let go of? Because for most of us, there's something that we continuously do that it's like, oh, if I want this other thing, I can't really keep doing this. So take a look at that. And then the mindset. What mindset do you need to let go of? What do you have to stop believing? And we already got it because it was in that negative narrative. What do you have to stop believing in order for this to happen for you? So let's pause here for a minute. Tell me what you're seeing in this. What are you noticing about yourself?
It feels like a postmortem of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, honestly, in my work life, I've done everything that I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In my past life before this is really so workable. I just have been resistant to sitting down and doing it.
So then for you, one of the things that you'll need to let go of is the resistance.
Yeah.
Right. And then what do you think a habit is that you would have to put into motion so that you can start working towards it? Because you keep saying it's really doable. Like what would the new action or habit be for you, Jill, this would be helpful?
It's really clarifying exactly what I want to do if I do this workshop, getting it really solid. And I've kind of tried a few different things, but I haven't really put it all together. It's just having it very clear what that workshop would be, what's the goal of it, and then really setting time in a schedule so that consistently I'm working on it.
So then it's putting time in your schedule, getting clear, probably outlining it is what I'm hearing, and making it something that you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share? What did you notice on this? Something that you have to let go of, a habit that you have to create or let go of, mindset?
I just had an aha moment.
Ooh, tell
I-
us.
Well, I just don't like to do what I don't like to do. That's it. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't like to do what I don't like to do. And, one of the things that I'm notorious for is ideating. And I love to come up with ideas and I love to create content, and I need to stop. And what I need to do is I call this the year of focus for me.
Hmm.
But the truth is that I need to focus on one thing, and I need to do the things that I hate to do. And the only thing that I hate to do is this like initial outreach. Once I get them on the phone or in a meeting, I'm fine. It's that initial, I don't know, I have this blockage. Like, I know that I need to send these like messages on LinkedIn to people, video messages, or like cold, not like, they're kind of like cold calls, but I don't really want to do it and I don't like to do it. So that's what I need to get over. And I've talked to so many different people and they're like, that's what you need to do, Julie. You need to actually do that. So
So it's interesting. Good aha moment for yourself. And I think that the question would be, how have you in the past done things that you just don't want to do? And is there anything there that you can employ or lean into to bring into this current situation so that you can have that ultimate goal that you're wanting to have?
well, when I used to work on the book, my first book, I was like, I hated that too. I hated writing the book.
Mhm.
And I would just like, I would try to like light a candle and play James Taylor, tell myself I'm gonna have a snack afterwards, like a child, like a child.
Yeah, but it sounds like maybe for you, you need a reward.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's fine. So give yourself one. And this is the part where it's about being really truthful about what we need. When I was writing my book, I had to watch like 5 J-Lo videos every time I sat down to write. I don't know why, but it was always J-Lo, and I was always, I don't know. I was watching the videos. I wrote the book. You guys probably all have copies of it. I wrote the book. But yeah, so telling the truth about what you need to be able to do the thing is what's important here, because what we're doing is we're getting you out of idea state, which is what you just said, Julie, getting us out of idea state so that we can get into action mode so that things can actually start happening. Goals are great, but they just become these like clouds in the sky if we don't back them up with our actions. And so now that you've looked at the narrative, we know what the habits are that we're up against. We know what needs to be employed. It becomes a matter of choice. What's your tipping point? How important is this next thing for you? And so that's something for all of you to look at. And I hope that these worksheets are helpful. There's more on here for you too, that once you get into that and you really make a decision to do the next thing, there's some questions that I ask you about your coaching clients. And it's like, what problems do you solve? Who do you solve them for? And then there's some stuff here too about how have you found clients in the past? I know that you said that you were new, and so maybe you haven't had a client in the past, but for those of you who have, where have you found them in the past? What other ideas do you have about finding clients? And this is really more of bringing those ideas and getting yourself focused so that you can see what's there. And then taking a look at what are money-making activities. And then I have something here for you to create a success story, because that's also a really good way to be able to engage with people when you're reaching out to your clients. And then just one more time, taking a look at if you were to think of your big lifetime goal, and you can just do it for 2024, or you can do it for your lifetime goal. What do you need to do by year, by month, by day, so that you can really break this down? But this is what I do with all of my clients when it comes to their vision work. And I will tell you that when we're working on this, it's never just one session. Like tonight, we've been together, 53 minutes is what it says. We've unlocked some things, but you can see how there's a lot of work here. This is at least 90 days of work with a person of, okay, let's see. And sometimes it can be 6 months or a year when you're really working on their big goal to help them to stay on track. And so that's the offer to you, is use this for yourself to stay on track. And I'll just pause here. Questions or comments, what can I answer for you tonight? What'd you get?
I think this was a good kick in the butt. Getting me going again.
Good, 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 good. Who else? What'd you get?
Well, for me, it was like the power of reflection and how I've been not normally I would have already done this work, and I came to this session just because I have not done this work yet, and I knew that you would get me to do it, Gretchen.
You
So
got
thank you.
yourself to do it. You did it. I just asked you questions.
I mean, but it's wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, so the power of reflection and sort of like putting it all out on paper is super powerful because now you can like know what to do next. So I
That's right.
like it. Thank you for this.
Oh, you're so welcome. Who else? What'd you get?
Yeah, personally for me, I mean, just breaking it down and making it more tangible, right, was really helpful. So just um, yeah, just feels good, right? Kind of throwing in more details about what you want to achieve. And then, so I guess more than doing it for the client, I felt it way more impactful for me personally, right? So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it's both things. I always like to make it that it's something for you and something for them.
Yeah.
And Carrie, what about you?
I just love that I was able to get to that feeling place of it. And I wrote down, you can fake what you say, you can fake your thoughts, but you can't fake your feelings. Like when you tap into that full body, like I'm there, that's when you can start to really create it. So that was fun.
Oh, good. So glad that this was helpful. Use these worksheets. I did drop a link. I know that Brenda mentioned this. I do have a workshop that's coming up on February 3rd. It's intensive. It's an accelerator workshop, and it's really meant to help you hit the ground running for 2024. So we did your vision, but Julie, for you, actually, this might be great. We're really going to get into the basics of connection call. What do you need to do to have a successful connection call? How do you get over that part of not knowing who to reach out to or what to say, or what do you do when they ask about money? So since it's 3 hours, we have a lot of time to unpack it and for me to demonstrate it as well. And then we're going to go even deeper than that, okay, after you've had what you thought was a great connection call and you actually think that you're getting the contract, but the potential client never signs and you don't hear from them again. What happened? What was missed? So I'm going to walk you all through that as well. And then lastly, we'll talk about money, because many times in our connection calls, we either talk about the money too fast, or we do it in a way that's off-putting, or we get scared of the client when they ask questions about the money. And so we're going to spend some time really talking about our own feelings about money, what we think is too much to charge, what's polite. There's a lot of that in the coaching industry, what people should and shouldn't do, how we're comparing ourselves to whomever, and just where our own point is of feeling uncomfortable and comfortable. And that's why I had you all put your numbers up just a little bit at the beginning of this tonight, just to push there, because we all have our edge of like, well, how much is too much? And I'm going to get into that as well. So if this is valuable to you and you want to go deeper, whenever you're spending, a 3-hour chunk on something, what you're really saying is, I'm ready to learn more and I'm ready to do a bit more on this and to really get into the content. And so I'd love to have you. And if you want to get a hold of me after this or email me to ask questions, I'm happy to answer. But that's it for tonight. That's what I've got. Happy New Year to everybody.
This is so helpful, Gretchen. Thanks a lot.
Thank
You're
you
And Happy New
so
Year,
much.
everyone.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Bye. Thank you. Be
Take
well.
care, Jill.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bye.
Gretchen.
You're welcome, Carrie.
Gretchen, I want to take are you there still? Stay